Welcome back to Men's Health Next Top Trainer, a nationwide search for the new face of fitness. Last week, Javante O'Roy, a San Diego-based former football player, won the programmed workout challenge.
I do think that he is sort of the total package.
And we said goodbye to Chris Almazan. His Bosu Ball workout left the judges feeling a little deflated.
Almazan's gotta go.
6 trainers remain, and there are plenty of challenges left to prove that they are a Men's Health Next Top Trainer.
In the gym, outdoors, or in the always changing virtual world, trainers have to adapt to be on top.
If they don't learn, we might as well just send them home next week.
Men's Health is on a mission to find the next top trainer. We've searched across the country and we found 8 incredible trainers and an elite panel of judges to put them through the ultimate test.
Keep watching like, man, that's cool.
Over the next 8 weeks of competition, we'll discover who is Men's Health Next Top Trainer. Men's Health is all about coaching up the audience on how to get the most out of a movement. This week's challenge is to create a 2-minute instructional workout video that breaks down a specific exercise for the Men's Health audience. The trainers can choose between these 4 moves: the Copenhagen Plank, the Plank Walkout, the Spider-Man Lunge to T-spine rotation, and the Archer Push-Up.
The contestants have 48 hours to prepare. Let's check in.
The reason I chose the Copenhagen Plank is because I just think out of all 4 exercises, I think it's the best and most beneficial.
Why did I go with the plank walkout? Because core is such an important part of fitness. A lot of things can go really right, or a lot of things can go very wrong based on your core strength and stability.
Why did I choose the Archer push-up for this week? Every guy's seen the Rocky one-arm push-ups, right? And I know every guy that's seen that, be like, man, that would be really cool to do that. The Archer push-up is an amazing way to work up to that.
This week, they'll be judged by myself, Ebenezer Samuel, fitness director of Men's Health Magazine.
Make people want to listen to you and make people want to do the exercise, or else they're just not going to do it and they're going to tune you out.
And Jeff Cavalier, founder of Athlean X.
I do think that you have to have personality when you do this, because otherwise it's just a set of instructions that become very boring.
This week's special guest judge, DeMarcus Ware, Super Bowl champion, owner of 3 Volt Fitness and the performance and lifestyle brand Driven to Win.
You gotta bring confidence to the picture. If you're not confident in what you're saying, I'm not gonna believe it, and I'm not gonna do those exercises.
All right, guys, let's see how the trainers did this week.
This exercise can be done as a warm-up to get your blood flowing and heart rate up, or as a simple mobilization, making sure your range of motion is on point. We're gonna start off in a simple push-up position, making sure your hands are right under your chest, squeezing your core and your glutes at the same time. The next step is to bring your foot to the outside of your hand. You're gonna have a soft knee bend, and you're gonna feel a slight stretch in your hamstring. Now, we're gonna rotate, pointing our fingertips to the ceiling, bringing our head and eyes to the thumb. Inhale back on the way down.
Technical performance of the move is actually really good, but he's feeling it out as he's speaking it, as opposed to knowing what he's gonna say before he did it.
It almost sounds like he's reading at times. Like I know Bobby last week kind of said that.
I would just say the preparedness wasn't there for me from the start.
Coach Ja here. I wanted to introduce you to my client, JT. JT works out 3 to 5 times a week, works a 9 to 5 job, always at the computer, always sitting. We're gonna take him through some mobility drills to kind of get rid of some of these aches and pains that he's having. We're gonna go through what's called a Spider-Man lunge with a T rotation. Palms down in a nice stable plank. You're gonna be bringing your right leg up as hard as you can. Push your heel into the floor, keeping your leg as straight as possible, and rotate to find that ceiling. Pull that hand back down, extend out, and switch to the opposite side. So you're only gonna do about 5 to 10 reps on each side. You can do this in the morning, you can do this midday. When you've been sitting for a long time, you can also do this at night. I would suggest doing it every single day until you start to feel some progress.
He went through the trouble to really try to make it exciting, and then he cued it really well.
Ja being Ja, like he's consistent. Every week now he's brought that ability to instruct, and he also does it in a serious but like in an inviting way. I want to listen to him.
When the guy was like hunched over the desk, guess what? I'm used to that, sitting down, and then he added it into the exercise saying, hey, this right here is going to help my spinal mobility. This is going to help my shoulders.
Today we're going to be doing the Archer push-up. Some things to look out for: your elbows, make sure those are tucked into your side when you're doing the push-up. your shoulders aren't shrugging up, they're kind of pulled back. And make sure your hips aren't rotating while you do the actual push-up. Once you're in your wide grip and your hands are placed, you'll get into your push-up position. Again, make sure those hips are nice and high and your core is engaged to keep them stable. And then as you go start your push-up, that's when you'll start rotating your wrists. And once you rotate your wrist, that's when you're gonna wanna start tucking that elbow into for that push-up. And you'll see what that looks like.
I'm watching this. What is that factor to make me like keep watching? Like, man, that's cool. Like, what?
The execution of the move wasn't clean. And
He pointed out, he made sure to point out there were 3 things that you really needed to make sure you did on the exercise. 1 was tuck your elbows, 2 is keep your shoulders down, not shrugging them, and 3, don't let your hips rotate. But meanwhile, his shoulders shrug on every single rep that he did.
Everything starts with the core. So right off the bat, we want to make sure we start with our feet shoulder width apart. I'm going to turn for you guys so you see here. We're going to work down to the ground and work our hands out one at a time. So walking out, make sure you challenge yourself, walking those hands out here, walk it right back on in. You guys can shorten that time. So walking out here, right back here for a little bit extra challenge. Now, some modifications here if you guys have any injuries. You guys can also shorten that walkout. So you guys can walk those hands out, nice and short, stop here, wherever's most comfortable for you. Safety first, walk it right back on in.
It's an exercise that I love. I always do when I start my warm-ups because it's like a full body exercise.
I want to see him sharpen up a little bit more and also to bring that personality into the instructional part too.
What's up, Men's Health? When it comes to movement and exercise, all energy in the body stems from the core and moves to the extremities. This plank variation will not only target your abs, but your entire core. Strong core, stronger body. To do the plank walkout properly, start in a standing position with your feet shoulder width apart. Bend at the hips and place your hands on the floor a few inches in front of your feet. Slow and controlled, begin walking your hands out to a high push-up position with your wrist stacked directly under your shoulders. Now reverse the movement by walking your hands back up to your feet and return to standing.
I found with JJ that I was getting that glazed over, feel when I was watching him.
there's nothing wrong with JJ. There's also nothing excellent or interesting or special about JJ. He is your average 3,000 yard, 20 touchdown, 10 interception quarterback.
Listen, I tell you what, Andy Dalton has been that guy where he's been getting the job done, been making playoffs, but he hasn't won the big game. I think now the Andy Dalton of the world, we would say the JJ Peterson here, he's going to get that bigger platform and he's going to start performing better.
So we want to start, we want to get a bench, opposite leg, outside leg on top of the bench, all right? When we do this, the benefit of this workout is we're warming up our adductors, that inner thigh muscle right here. So common mistakes, people will push their hips back, people will sag their hips, okay? Want this hand flat. Key thing you want to focus on is pushing through the bench. If you use your opposite leg and go up and down right here. And you'll feel it, you'll really feel it firing up all throughout that adductor. You want to do this movement and exercise before running, before training, before lifting. Really warm up those legs and give yourself a great workout. Thanks.
Why would I use this exercise? Is it for lateral movement? Is it for, vertical? I mean, why would I add this exercise with it being so challenging into my workout plan?
Talking with Anthony last week, I said, hey, give us a little bit more personality. We can't tell if you're too cool for school or if you're just not confident.
Anthony Rice, you were exposed. You shouldn't have been here at all. He can't really own a screen. And that comes from a very limited knowledge base. We can't have that in men's health, so it's not even a discussion.
The gloves just came off for Eb right there. It was like, boom. So guys, who are your favorites right off the bat?
I mean, my favorite right off the bat was Ja. The presentation of the camera angles, what he added into it, those are the type of videos that will go viral.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit cheesy, but we're all talking about it, right?
Cheese on social media is pretty, you see a lot of cheesy things out there that go viral.
Kind of coming across as this hyper overachiever over these 3 weeks, but I like it. I like that he puts a little bit more time in and tries to think of this as content and think of it as like a full-fledged video.
Javonte is still the one that's capable of being maybe the most engaging, but I think there's some points that he might have missed in terms of the benefits of the move he was describing.
He just has that it thing that I really want to work with, so I have him high up too.
Wasn't as polished as Ja, but I liked him as well. Let's talk about who is being eliminated this week. We got Chris Coulson, we got Anthony Rice.
For me, I would just say Anthony Rice. The thing is, there was no connectivity. I feel like it was just really thrown together. As the coaches say, we're gonna half-ass do it, and hopefully we get a good grade, but this week for me, you didn't get that grade.
By the shrug of a shoulder, Chris Coulson is gonna stay and stick around here, but just by a little bit. You know, I think Anthony is my bottom choice this week.
Ed, I don't think we have to ask you who you're sending home, but let's ask you anyways. Who you sending home?
I've been waiting 3 weeks for this. I'm gonna eliminate Anthony because, again, just no upside. Doesn't seem like he wants to be here. Chris, you're on your last leg with me though, so you gotta step up next week.
These guys gotta be coachable. Hopefully next week we see them make some of those changes. We'll see you guys next week. All right, fellas. Good to have you guys back. Welcome to week 3. We're getting down into the nitty gritty. You guys know how this happens. Top 2. Ja and Javante. Ja, this is your 3rd week in a row being in the top, so you guys might want to look at what Ja's doing. We are really excited to watch you continue bringing that personality to the screen. All right, next up, Javante. You're loved on camera. You have that it factor that people are drawn to. But again, when you focus on the core for the plank walkout, you never mentioned the dynamic flexibility benefits of the hamstrings or the calves. That was one of the things Jeff said. You had a little bit of tunnel vision when it came to the exercise, rather than just talking about, you know, the core. Talk about some of the flexibility benefits as you're doing these things. Winner of the week is the person that we felt like you had very precise and it was fun to watch, and that's Ja. But Ja, you are our take-home winner.
You get a boost. That means we'll be putting your workouts on Men's Health social platforms. You get a boost. That means we'll be putting your workouts on Men's Health social platforms.
So I thought, because I couldn't use someone else to coach in Q, I would just make myself a double and have some fun with it.
Now, time for the bottom 2. We got Chris Coulson, Anthony Rice. You know, the level right now of competition, guys, is increasing. So judges, they're looking at every single little piece of detail. So keep that in mind. Chris, you did a good job of explaining the benefits of the workout. You gotta be able to perform the movement well that you're doing. You gotta be able to perform it damn near perfectly. And those archer push-ups, they looked like they were a struggle.
That was probably our 30th take doing the archer push-ups, and I was just getting I was just getting tired, so I was trying to manufacture kinetic energy, if you will.
Next up, we got Anthony. Anthony, this week, you know, the judges didn't feel like you were as knowledgeable about the movement as you should have been. You didn't mention the fact that it's also a major core move. You can do this for just your core. It's week 3 now, so they're gonna be pointing out, you know, every little thing on here. So bad news, Anthony, you won't be moving on to the next round. You were one of Jeff's favorites last week. As a content creator, as a trainer, you have crazy potential for what you're doing.
Thank you guys for the opportunity. I mean, I appreciate what you said. Coming from you, that means a lot. I want to wish everybody else good luck, and I know whoever wins is going to be top notch.
Okay, so the rest of you are safe, and we will see you next week for a super special episode. We're gonna do things a little bit different. You'll each be tested on your fitness expertise with 3 questions designed to test your knowledge, delivered by our judges. Bring your A game. There's no pulling punches here, guys. We'll see you next week.
Competition is heating up.
I'm ready to go.
Welcome to the hot seat.
Hot seat challenge.
I don't think I've been this nervous since SATs.
Question, answer.
I was hoping like at that point that you would give me something there.
I'm pissed off already.
You can't understand complex topics if you don't understand the basics.
So the most optimal position would be the barbell.
Ja, that response on barbell is flat out wrong.